Now, I just finished the dishes in my kitchen, and I was watching a movie, and it's sort of the end of the movie when you find out what happens at the end, and this popped up. Now, you might say, well, this is just an internet connection error. That's what it is. A network connection is required to play this video. Please connect your device to a wireless network and then try again. I'm not playing a video. I was watching a movie on Prime. Let's see what this says. Internet connection error. No internet connection was found. Please verify your device's internet connection and then restart the application. Now, this looks, I don't know how it looks to you, but this is what I get all the time. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the wiring in my house, and it's not the internet connection. What it is I've been a gang stalking target for 17 years, started in 2006. Now, in the beginning, what they did a lot of is mobbing with red cars, police cars, you see, because police gang stalk, firemen gang stalk, ambulance drivers gang stalk, citizens gang stalk. I call them the Reds because they use something the FBI calls conspicuous surveillance. They use red cars, red trucks, but lately these cowards, these government gang stalking cowards, and I'm talking about the FBI and the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the local police that you send to the Joint Terrorism Task Force, they're under investigation by Congressman Jordan's committee. They're under investigation for weaponization of government. In other words, they target people on the basis of whatever. I was targeted because of a suspicious activity report, which my neighbor fireman got going he got his friends, lots of firemen in my neighborhood. They moved up from New York City after 9/11 in my development, which was a new development, and so he wanted me to move. Didn't like that my brother listened to music, and so he wanted us out. And so he got me on a suspicious activity report, and I have been gang stalked for 17 years, but since the weaponization committee, with their investigating the corrupt practices of the FBI and the rest of our intelligence agencies, they can't use those red cars so much, these little chicken babies. And so what they've been doing is this. I'm watching TV, they interrupt it. My brother, who is mentally handicapped, he's profoundly mentally handicapped, he's watching his cartoons in the living room, they interrupt it. And this goes on constantly. Now, of course, they do other things too, like they get your neighbors to beep all the time. They use siren sounds. They're phony siren sounds that the government gang stalkers in the neighborhood, because they get neighbors in your neighborhood, they get just people from the neighborhood to join in the mobbing, the gang stalking, the unremitting harassment. And so I just wanted to show you, I'm watching a movie, and this is what pops up. And this goes on constantly. Now, is there anything wrong with my equipment? No. Is there really an error code? Something happened to the modem? No. What this is they can interfere with, this is the FBI after all, you know, their technical ability. They can do this. Now, how did they get away with this? How did they get away with 17 years of mobbing, gang stalking? Well, the fact is that our Congress is chicken shit. They don't do anything about it. There's supposed to be oversight of the FBI, oversight of the local police and the Joint Terrorism Task Force. Now, some cities like Oakland just pull their cops out of the Joint Terrorism Task Force because they know what they do, and they said not in this community, but of course, most communities around the United States. You see, I came from New York, and that's where it started, but I'm in California now, and as I was traveling over, I was gang stalked in Arizona, in Texas. This is not a local problem. This is a national problem, government gang stalking. Started with Bush Cheney when Mukasey, who was the Attorney General then, changed the FBI guidelines, which allowed people to be targeted by the FBI without no suspicion of wrongdoing. So in other words, somebody doesn't like you. like my neighbor Firemen when I lived in Newburgh, New York. And they can get you put on a list, they can get you gang stalked, and there's no way to get off. And they can unremittingly harass you, make your life miserable. You know, every place that I used to go when my dog was alive, I'd take him out for a walk every day. I was gang stalked every day, sometimes as much as 100 people a day, because they've got just like the Stasi in East Germany, they've got a percentage of our population to gang stalk. And who did this? Cheney and Bush. You know, Cheney was in charge of surveillance during this time. That evil man who said of the Iraq War, it was worth it. Tens of thousands of people died. It was worth it. It wasn't his daughters that fought in that war, but other people's kids dying, the Iraqis dying. It was worth it. That's Dick Cheney. That's the guy that started this program. Now, Congress is supposed to have oversight of our intelligence agencies. They know about COINTELPRO, what the FBI did for 15 years during the Vietnam War, but they let this go on. I am unremittingly harassed. Can't watch a television show in my own house. And you know what else they do? They even listen, and I don't know how they do this, through your TVs probably, to what you say. I used to kid my dog, and I used to say to him, you're a cat. Like, I would just fool around with my dog. And so I'm out walking one day, and this lady comes up to me, looks at my dog, and says, he looks like a cat. Now, I live alone with my brother. Nobody knows that I used to kid my dog like that and say, you're a cat. Only said it in my house. And I'm taking a walk, and what they do is when I take a walk, there's gang stalkers all around me because they're wearing red, they're passing by with red cars using what the FBI calls conspicuous surveillance. All right, so I just wanted to share this with you. Not going to see the end of my movie because the FBI says you deserve to be harassed, and they can get away with it. Did Trump stop this when he was president? No. And maybe he's sorry now because now he's being targeted. Did Obama stop this? He was one of the worst civil liberties presidents that I've ever seen. And people like Feingold said this, not just me. For instance, he spied on the intelligence agency, spied on the on members of Congress, on Dianne Feinstein. They spied on the AP. That news organization, and that all went on under Obama, who was like a puppet of Comey, Clapper, Brennan. All right, so here we have intelligence agencies out of control. I can't watch a movie in my own house, and this goes on all the time, every day, with my brother when he's mentally handicapped, trying to watch Mickey Mouse, can't watch his cartoons. This is the FBI. This is the Joint Terrorism Task Force. This is Mukasey, the Attorney General under Bush, who rewrote the FBI guidelines to say that anybody could be targeted without suspicion of wrongdoing. And at the time, Senator Ted Kennedy wrote a letter with a couple of colleagues, and he said, you know, Mr. Mukasey, this is going to result in the long-term surveillance of innocent people. Well, hello. They're getting away with it. Where's Congress? Where's Congress? Why didn't they stop this? It's going on for 17 years. Why doesn't Congress stop this? Those chicken shits. All right. Now I'll pull out the plug, try to get this going again. But I just wanted to show you what's going on in this country is outrageous. You know, the weaponization of government against Trump, that's just, recently. This has been going on since Bush, Cheney. But of course, when it was just involving little people like me, nobody cares. Nobody cares that a percentage of our population gang stalks. This started in New York. I saw it as I crossed the United States coming here to California. And it's here in California. All right, I'm going to end now.